Hello everyone, welcome back to Mo's World. I'm Mo. This is my very first story time on YouTube. Honestly, I could have did without the story time, but it happened nonetheless. So the title is not clickbait. It really did happen. So this actually happened last Monday. So not the Monday that just passed, but last Monday. You know, for my last video, I was super excited about the exciting news. I was going to take the Sisterlocks retightening course, specifically through a Sisterlocks consultant that was local, who was R certified. And I had made the appointment with her and I was solid. And I had made the video and shared it with you all. Well, later that day, she started texting me because she no longer had a client and she could actually, give me her full attention. So she started texting me and she said, "Hey, do you know your locking pattern?" And I was like, yeah, because I had already asked my consultant before, because before I was going to go to the Sisterlocks retightening course. So I told her it was reverse 4. And she was like, "Are you sure? Question mark, question mark." And I was like, "Yes, I'm sure." And then she was like, and I was like, okay, she's starting to make me nervous. And then she was like, "Are you sure she just didn't start you with the reverse 4 and then switch it up?" I was like, "Not that I know of." And then she started asking me how long I've been locked. I told her 16 months. Then she asked, what else did she ask? She asked, do I still braid and band? Then she asked, do I have a lot of slippage? And I was like, yes, I braid and band, and no, I don't have a lot of slippage. And so she proceeds to ask for a picture of my hair. So I sent her a picture, and I was like, all the time, I'm like, okay, why am I getting the 3rd degree here? So I text my consultant and said, "Hey, are you sure you did my hair in reverse 4 and it stayed like that the entire time?" And she said, "Yeah, I started you off with reverse 4 and it remained reverse 4. And I was like, all right, got it. So I'm like, I know I'm not tripping. You told me that and I know that. So anyways, I told the other lady, the R certified consultant, the exact same thing. And then I realized, I was like, okay, look, instead of us going back and forth with more questions, I asked her, I was like, would you feel more comfortable if I came in and you saw my hair in person before we proceeded? And she said, "Please," in all caps. And I was like, oh, okay, now you're making me nervous. I was like, well, can I come in tomorrow? And she said, sure. So that next day, which was last Tuesday, I went over there after work. And I went in there, great environment, love the vibe. She was super, super nice, just really awesome. She had a little girl in her chair. She was giving her tester locks. Beautiful, gorgeous hair. And she proceeded to look at my hair. And she was like, "I know you came in here specifically just to find out if you could take the Sisterlocks retightening course. But I would be real messed up if I didn't tell you what I see." And I'm like, okay, like, what do you see? Like, I don't get it. She was like, "First of all, your locks are gorgeous." So of course, it's like, it's great to hear that, but it's like, I hear "but" coming. And so she was like, "But they're not Sisterlocks." And I said, excuse me? And so she proceeded to go on and she said, so the Sisterlocks brand, there's certain, I guess, characteristics that go with the brand of Sisterlocks that actually make them Sisterlocks, makes it actually a part of the brand. And that goes with the grid, how the grid is done. So it's supposed to go small, medium, large, medium, small, I think, if I remember correctly. And then she proceeded asking me, "Do you feel like you have that?" And I was like, well, maybe not so much. Maybe more of like small, large, medium, maybe. I was like, And then she was like, Sisterlocks is an average of 400 to 600 locks. She was like, how many locks do you have? I said, 266. She was like, I've done way more than 100 establishments. And the only time I came close to low 300 count was with a recovering cancer patient. So she was like growing her hair out. And that was the only time she had that low of a number on someone. So, mind you, with each bit of information, I am like shrinking very much so right there in that room. Not because of her, but just because of what I'm hearing. And so then I was like, well, I have a small head and I don't have a lot of density. And she was like, yeah, actually, that's what I was thinking. I didn't even say that. That's what I was thinking in my head, but she said it. She was like, you have some consultants who will say, oh, because you have a small head and low density. I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, that's my story. She was like, but that's not the case. She was like, how Sisterlocks are done, that would not be the determining factor. She's like, there's people with much finer hair than yours and still have way more Sisterlocks than you do. And she was like, and your locks are large. They're not small. And I was like, well, let me say this. Not large as in like the traditional sense of being large, but large for Sisterlocks. She was like, your base size is definitely bigger than what the Sisterlocks base would be, like the base of the lock. And I was like, okay. Then she proceeded on. She was like, so the reverse 4 rotation, she was like, that's only used really to maybe start someone off with their locks because they see that they may be prone to slippage. She was like, looking at your hair, I would have started you off with reverse 4 all the way around. She was like, totally get that. But you don't stay with reverse 4 because reverse 4 is only considered a repair pattern. It is not looked at to be used for long term. And I'm thinking to myself, my consultant has used that for the last 16 months. Are you kidding me? So she showed me, she brought up a mirror. She's like, do you see this? You see what's happening with your locks? She was like, that's the cause of the reverse 4. I was like, I thought that could have been bunching or a part of the locking process. I mean, like, how am I supposed to know? And she was like, no, if it was bunching, when it's wet, you can pull it. She was like, can you do that with yours? I was like, no. She was like, yeah, because that's because of how the lock is forming because of the locking pattern. And she was like, that's not the locking pattern. First of all, that's not the locking pattern that you keep long-term for anybody's hair type. And then 2, you're not even supposed to be a 4 with your hair, with your curl pattern. You're supposed to be a 3. And I was like, yeah, okay, like what? And then she was like, do you realize like every time like you get your hair retightened, is it just super flat to your head? I said, yes, and it sucks. I have no body after I get my hair retightened. It's like stuck to my scalp. And I like can't wait for it to kind of, get old again. And she was like, yeah, that's not how retightening should be. She was like, it should flow with the body of your hair, the curl pattern you already have. So it should actually mimic your loose curl pattern as much as possible. But yeah, it's still, it's still locked. So she was like, and another thing, you're retightening, because mind you, this was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days after my first retightening. So she was like, your retightening is way too tight, like way too tight. And then they noticed some areas where it was a bit sloppy in some areas, and then they were just, or she was just showing me a lot of different things, and each moment I'm trying to take it all in, but I'm like, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. So then she said, hold on, okay, don't worry, calm down, breathe. My daughter is a Sisterlocks consultant as well. She's certified. She's been doing it for she's been certified for about 2 years now. She's been in there with another client. Her music's on. She hasn't heard any of our conversation because we were in a totally different room. She was like, I'll ask her to come over here, look at your hair, to ask her what she thinks specifically to what you're coming here for, to learn how to lock your, be able to self-retighten your Sisterlocks, and let her say what she's going to say. So there's no bias. I was like, all right, that sounds like a good plan. her daughter proceeds to come over and like, oh, your locks are gorgeous. I'm like, thank you. Then she started looking inside, you know, got Germix in her hands, and then looked inside, proceeded to look at my locks, and said exactly what her mother had just told me. So yeah, that happened. So then she proceeded to ask me, like, well, what did she use to lock your locks? Did you look at the lock? Did you look at the tool? I said, oh yeah, I was able to see the tool. I said, it was a Sisterlocks tool. She was like, did it look like this? I said, no, that's the hook. I know what the tools look like. There's that hook, and then there's that little small pointy one where it has a little hook thing, metal hook thing that comes out of it when you squeeze down. And she was like, so she used that? I was like, yeah, she's been using that. She's like, okay, let me tell you something about that. She was like, certified locticians that have been doing it for a bit should be proficient with using the hook. The hook looks better with the locks overall. It doesn't look sloppy. It looks so much smoother. See, the little Sisterlocks tools, which you can get after you learn how to retighten or take the self-retightening course, is not meant for anyone who is proficient at what they do. It's meant to get the job done, and it's branded. She was like, so for her to have used that for your locks all this time and to have started them, it shows. And I'm like, so then all this time, I'm thinking my Sisterlocks consultant has been certified for a good long time. The woman in there knew who she was. I was like, oh yeah, when I met her, she was a trainee. I said, what? Well, how far ago was that? So I don't think she's been certified as long as I thought she's been. My issue is this. Actually, no, let me tell you my options that were given to me in that moment. They were like, okay, look. So she sat me down. She was like, look, I know this is a lot you're taking in right now. You have 4 options right now. And you can go home, sleep on it, do whatever you need to do. You do not have to make it now. Like, I am here for you. I am in your corner. So whatever you decide to do is whatever you decide to do. No questions asked. I will follow through. And I was like, all right. So her 4 options. One option was she also said this. I forgot. And it just keeps going. She said, first of all, let me show you all what they were talking about. I have this headband on because I need to wash my hair, y'all. All right, so it's super, super wound up and tight. You see how that is? I don't know if you can see that as well as I'd like to. My hair's so dirty, y'all. I'm not trying to get any closer. What I'll do is take close-up pictures and put it at the end of the video because this video is already getting long. She also showed me at the end, she's like probably about 6 to 7 inches of the bottom of my hair looks like it. She's like, it's loose. And she was like, so did she charge you for the full length? I was like, yeah, she did. She was like, she was like, that wasn't the best thing. And she was like, okay, well, she's like, maybe it's just taking a lot longer for it to do something. And then she was like, they look like they've been punctured. You know, maybe that's been the situation. And that's when they found out that she was using the other Sisterlocks tool instead of the hook. Because she's been puncturing the ends of my locks this entire time. Every time she's been retightening, she's been puncturing my locks. So, because they're not mature. They're not even they're not even teenage. It's like, so, sorry, talking about it is getting me like frustrated again. But anyways, she was saying that option 1 would be to take down the loose hair that's, it's not locked yet. It's like 6 to 7 inches. Take that down and then redo them. So maybe this part will stretch out a little bit more and they can kind of fix it that way. They said that was going to be that was still going to be pricey because of the time that would take to do that. That was option 1. Option 2, take everything down and actually get legitimate Sisterlocks. That was going to be the priciest of the 4 options because not only was it going to be pricey to take all of this down because of all the work it was going to, the time to put into it, then I would have to pay for a second establishment. I was like, heck no. Third option was to, hey, if I love my locks, let it be, and just start coming to them to start getting my locks healthy and to start putting it in a 3-point rotation going forward. Option 4, pretend I didn't hear anything that they said and continue to go there for what I originally called about, was to take the self-retightening Sisterlocks class. So, as I sat there thinking, honestly, in that moment, y'all, this is how I felt. I felt like an adult that just figured out Santa Claus ain't real. Like, that's literally how I felt in that moment. Like, my whole world just kind of dropped for a moment. Because it's like, I've seen other people go through stuff like this. This is not supposed to be my reality. Like, say what? You know? So, I sat there for a good long while, and she let me. And then I told her I'd like to go with option number 3. Because this is the deal. I love my locks. I love them. I honestly don't care about a brand. Let me start off saying, the reason I got Sisterlocks from the very beginning, the only reason I decided because I was on the fence between small Interlocks and Sisterlocks. I was on the fence between the two. I went back and forth and back and forth. And the only reason I chose Sisterlocks was that I knew it was a trusted brand. I knew that my parts would look great. And, well, that's the main. And I wanted my hair to look full. That's why I chose Sisterlocks. Why I was strongly contemplating having small interlocks was, personally, I liked the look better of small interlocks. Or microlocks, whatever you want to call them. I liked the look better. But I thought that due to my low density hair, that it would not look full, that it would look very scalpy to get small interlocks. So, from the very beginning, day one, even when I keep going forward and start talking to people and looking at people's interlocks and stuff, I'm like, oh, small interlocks, so beautiful. But, who knew that I had them the entire time? SMH. So, I think this is my situation. So I chose option 3. I love my locks. I want them to be healthy. I want to start doing a rotation 3. She described what my previous consultant is, because she's no longer my consultant. My previous consultant was doing with the reverse 4 with my rotation was pretty much like an equivalent of, okay, you have a person who may be like 3, okay, let me say this, because I don't want to be offensive in any way, but this was her example, so let me kind of switch the example. You have a person who is trying to fit into a size 2 pants, but normally wears like a size 12 or 14. Like, it wouldn't make sense to try to squeeze into a size 2. She's like, that's literally what your hair is doing right now. You have very curly hair, and it's the thickness level, density, and all that jazz. Everything goes for a rotation 3. So right now, it's going real tight and skinny and kind of coiling up on one another because it's like constricted into this locking pattern that it's currently in. And that's not great for your hair, especially if I was to keep going and them to actually mature in that state. So I thank God that this was seen beforehand. She said, honestly, if I had gone to the Sisterlocks class in June, they would have told me the same thing, would have asked who did my locks. So that's that. At the end of the day, I absolutely love my locks. I'm so happy that, sorry, hubby's calling. I'll call him later. I'm so happy that I know they're going to be healthy. I know that they're going to be full and just beautiful like I've always wanted them to be. So everything's going to work out just great. It's going to work out. It's going to work out. So I decided to stay with them. I canceled on my last consultant, or my previous consultant. I canceled my next retightening with her. I canceled it. Have I spoken with her? No. I'm trying to decide how to deal with that situation. My friends and family are like, you need to talk to her. And I for sure don't think she knew what she did. I think it was an honest mistake. And they are like, you need to talk to her so she at least knows how to go forward and doesn't make this mistake with someone else. I don't know, y'all. I agree with them. I think it's right. I just don't want to be up in there talking with her about this because I still feel some type of way, which I should. So I don't know. But as of now, she's no longer my consultant. I have already made an appointment with this new consultant, and now that I don't have supposedly Sisterlocks, they charge me for Interlocks to get retightened. So it's $30 per hour. So I've been paying. I'm not even going to that. Anyways, that's nice because it takes about 2 hours to get my hair retightened. So that'll be $60 versus the $105 I was paying. That would be nice. Also, I do plan on wanting to learn to take this self-retightening Sisterlocks class. I do plan on taking it at some point. I just want my hair to get healthy. By the end of the year, I'm going to really look at my hair and see what I think. And if I think it's good to go and I talk to them and they think it's good to go, then I'm going to figure something out. I don't know if I'm going to take the class or, I'm just going to figure it out via YouTube. I'm not sure at this point. So, regardless, I'm going to start doing my own hair. I am not going to go on a rant about the Sisterlocks brand and why some people, why consultants, you pay them all this money and then they're not even proficient in what they do, but yet they're certified, is beyond me. But, I paid $1,735. I love my small interlocks, whatever you all want to call them. They were started by a certified Sisterlocks consultant, and they were started by a Sisterlocks tool, but they're considered small interlocks. So, what do you know? That's my life. So, my next retightening is the first week of May. So I will keep you all updated. I really don't know where I'm going from here. I don't know if I should start calling my videos micro locks, small interlocks. I don't know. Leave in the comment section below. If you made it through this entire video, first of all, give yourself a pat on the back, round of applause, because it was long. I'm sorry, y'all. But leave a comment below. Has something like this ever happened to you? Do you know of someone else who's dealt with this? Do I still call them Sisterlocks? I feel like I should still be able to call them Sisterlocks. I paid that price. It's by a Sisterlocks consultant. It was used. The Sisterlocks tool was used. I don't know. I'm not trying to be petty, y'all. I ain't trying to have Sisterlock people come after me either. But I don't know. What are y'all's thoughts? I'm so curious to hear y'all's opinions, your thoughts. Leave them in the comment section below. Please show me some love, y'all. I need it. It's been rough, but I'm making it through, and I feel real good about the way forward. My hubby is calling me again, so I need to get off of here. You all be blessed, take care, and look out for another video. All right, bye.